Hello everyone, my name is Adredin, and today we are back in 7 Days to Die. We are going to talk about how to make forges, what to do with forges, where to get all the parts to make forges, what goes into forges, and what you can get out of a forge. Alright, let's have some fun. Alright guys, so the house that I just jumped into here is a pretty common house you'll find out in the wild, and it's often a good one to find some sort of forge. There's sometimes one here, and we'll probably play with one there in a few minutes, depending on what we find on this one. So this is where it generally spawns, these days anyway. So let's see which one this is. This is a fully working forge. Okay, because sometimes it is a destroyed forge, and I'll just show you that right now. So if you find yourselves a destroyed forge, they look exactly the same. But when you open them, there's usually just an inventory here, none of the other little windows over here for putting in fuel or anything else. And so what you would find is just some stuff in here. Sometimes you find an anvil, sometimes metal. Can really depend. So it's a bit of an unfortunate thing, but it happens. So if you don't want these forges where they are, you can do two things. You can either put down a land claim block, or you can dismantle them with a wrench. A wrench, you'll get a bunch of the parts back, and we'll just go and do that right now. Okay guys, so if you've managed to take this thing down with a wrench all the way, you'll be getting 20 stones, 20 clay, and 5 of your leather back. Then, if we just do the last little wrench, yeah, we don't get anything extra. So we get those. The one little thing to remember is you can use your trusty little stone axe here to go ka. The problem is with that though that you only get your stone. So I would not really recommend that. I would use a wrench if you have the opportunity. So let's put in a land claim block and let's just show how that is done here. I'm just looking at the size. I don't see the little white borders for this land claim block anywhere inside the base over there. So we have now claimed it. And we are ready to pick this thing up. To pick it up wholesale and move it, you can just press the E button, wait for this little radial menu to pop up, and then you can take it. It takes a little bit of time, but then you have it in your inventory and you can move it. So we're going to move this one to the roof. I want to do some forging up there and show you a bit about where to get some of the materials. Alright, so some of the things that we need to actually make a forge are listed here. You know, you just look up forge and you can see that you need 50 stone, 50 lumps of clay, a bellows, and a short iron pipe. So these aren't really that hard to get. The bellows, it's, you know, a little bit, but not really. You know where to look. It's pretty easy. The worst part is just the leather. So leather is made from hide, animal hide, or you can find it all around the world. So that is one of the things we're going to do. I would, this town here is actually pretty small. And whilst you can probably find some leather couches, you may not. And so, I'm going to recommend this place. Alright guys, so this is Crucible. The other skyscrapers do, I believe, have some leather in them as well. So I'm going to go in here and I'm just going to clear out the zombies real quick, and then I'll show you the leather couches. Okay guys, so these are the leather couches, and by destroying them, you will get yourself some leather. And a little bit of wood too, but the leather is what we want. So, got 1, 2, 2. So by hitting them with the stone axe, you get 2, and it is way quicker. So we can collect up 10 of these chairs and get our 20 leather if we want. And otherwise, we have to go do some hunting. Let's see here, this is 8, 20. So technically I would already have enough to be able to build the bellows, and I would have enough pipes for the forge, but we're going to show a couple other quick little things. We are looking for pipes. So this is one great location to get pipes, is cars. We're going to go over at least 2 other little things you can get pipes from. You can also get some scrap iron and some pipes out of these ovens, just like that. So one of the good places to get old pipes is actually out of one of these sinks here. You can just break it down and you'll get, looks like 2 on that one, 3, 4. So 4 out of that one. We'll just double check. Looks like about 4 with level 1 bad mechanic and a 300 level wrench. All right, let's look for our alternative source of leather outside here. Not sure where an animal will be, but let's just quickly show on a little hunting just to show you kind of where to get that. Okay guys, here's a wolf. We're gonna shoot it for its pelt. Oh dang. Oh, it's after that zombie, which is great for us. Let's try to get a sneak shot against it. Oh, run backwards. Ow. Not a good idea. I mean, I would recommend getting a pig or pretty much anything but one of these guys. But if you're, you know, running backwards and you have some bandages on you, you might be able to get some hide that way. So, unfortunately, also, we don't really have a good, you know, tool to skin this thing. So we're not going to get much hide, but, you know, if you get your hide this way, that can work. I suppose I'll have to do a hunting tutorial a bit. But you can use the bones that you get off of these to make some shivs, which gets you more material off of them. Or if you have a hunting knife, that works even better. Machete works as well. Okay, so this is the POI that I'm in. Actually, it's pretty great that this is right here. And let's see if it has a built-in forge and which kind, but this is what they start like if you're absolutely new to the game. Yeah, so you see there's a forge right there, but you do have to take out these guys. This is a fully working forge, so there you go. I'm gonna head back to my base. We'll see if I can find a different house with a forge in it, because there's another kind that has it. Okay guys, this is a particularly nasty trader to get to, but I mean, if you go in here, this is another little bit of a reminder that you can sometimes find a forge that works in one of these. I forget which one precisely it is. I think it's behind me. Cement mixer. And chemistry station. Here's a leather couch you could break down if it wasn't... That's the kind you would use to break down. Here's a forge. See, so you can sometimes find forges in the traders. Just so you know, you can use those to do all the future things I'm about to show you. Okay, I will see you guys back at the base where we're going to collect up the clay and stone. Okay guys, we are back at the forge house here, and what you're going to want to do is probably zoom in. I have this already marked off. This here is what you want. This is a clay patch, and this in vanilla it's pretty easy to see. Other mods sometimes not so much. This here is a big rock. I think these are the little rocks here. All right, let's go do this over here. Okay, so if you're also just wondering, this is just dirt over here, and well, we can't really easily get any to show you, but this material here, this is clay. So if we start breaking on that, we'll get some. So I'm gonna make a shovel, and then we'll go from there. Okay, so basically you just have to hit the ground with your shovel, and then you'll start gathering the material. You're gonna need 50 clay just to build the forge, but I would recommend getting a bunch. I mean, if you have the time, I don't know, go till your first shovel breaks and you'll have a whole bunch. That's what I'm gonna do right now. But you need extra clay to pretty much build everything out of the forge. It kind of, I guess, covers what would be a mold. So that is sort of how that works. And so when this thing breaks, oh, we're getting some dirt on that one. you'll have about 200. I was obviously shoveling some dirt, so I wasted a couple of spots there, but that's all right. Okay, the next thing we need to find is some stones. We need 50 stones. These are good ones because you can end up getting a lot of other materials. You get both iron, coal, and nitrate from these, and lead. Some of these things can be put into the forge, and some of them are used for gunpowder, so it's a good time to just break these ones down. And yeah, I'm not quite sure how many it's going to take, but let's find out. Okay, so I just broke this down 2 levels, and I think that was about as much. I may have picked up a couple of rocks beforehand, just sort of wandering around. But if you break down one of these boulders that you just find on the terrain, you'll be able to get to 50 pretty easily. So it doesn't even take up a full repair cycle of your tool. All right, let's start building our forge. Okay, so it's now time to build the forge. So we start with the bellows. And of course we have our iron pipe. Another source of iron pipes are these toilets. If you just smash them, you will get some pipe out of them as well as your wrench. The wrench is probably better. With the wrench you get 2 plus you get scrap iron, so there you go. 1 toilet with a wrench or 2 without will get you your pipe. So there's lots of places to get pipe in the world. Alright, so we have our bellows, and then we can look up recipes, or you can type in forge, whichever way you want to go. And we see that we have everything. We have our iron pipe, we have our bellows, we have our lumps of clay, and we have our small stones. So we craft that thing up. It takes, well, it looked about 50 odd seconds. That really depends on some of your skills. I think it might be misc crafting? Crafting time in general, yeah. So it can be a little faster, but I mean, really, it's your forge. Doesn't really matter. Let's put that down over here. Okay, so our forge is done. You can see its little icon down in the corner there. And let's put this down. I'm going to put mine here. I would kind of recommend putting it inside someplace where you aren't going to be seen by zombies, just so you don't attract attention. The other thing to worry about is that these things generate heat. If you don't know what heat is, I recommend looking up a tutorial on it. But in short, heat is kind of like activity. It has nothing to do with the actual temperature, it's sort of the activity in the area. And by running one of these, or campfires, or even torches and candles, you generate heat. And that can call in screamers, and screamers can call in hordes, and so it's a bit tough. So I'd protect one of these things either up high or really down below, or you can build like a forge house. Like you might be able to take a house like that, turn it into a forge house, and then you never have to worry about it. You can run your forges 24/7 and not have to worry about it except for when you head over there. Okay, I'm going to build some storage boxes, and we're going to get into the actual use of the forge now. Okay, so the next things that we should probably cover are sort of what's inside this forge. So over here is all the recipes that you can craft, and you can sort them by building, resource, ammo, whatever is, easier for you to figure out where something is. Over here we have the tools that go into this, which is the anvil, the crucible, and the tool and die set. And I'll kind of go into these in more detail in a few moments. And this is where you put your fuel, and then you would turn it on. We're going to go into some fuels pretty soon. This is your smelting area. This is what you put into it, and we're going to go into that, but that would be things like iron or tools, iron ore, glass, sand, clay, all the things. I tried a little bit of something. I've got 25 stone in there because I was trying something. And yeah, then you have your output right here. This is just whatever you're making. So say you're making an anvil, then that would just be output here. If you had a stack of, say, these brick corners, they would make a big stack here and overflow as it goes. Okay guys, so in terms of stuff that you can put into there, you can burn all these different things, plus other things. I think basically everything that has a burn time on it, which is this one here. Burn these chairs if you somehow manage to get them into your inventory. These ones I spawned in from the creative, just to show. These chairs, you can burn chairs if that's what you really want to do with chairs. And this even, you can burn that, you can burn your cloth. Burn your gas. Gas, I would kind of say that it's better use of it another way. You can burn your coal, which is a great source. At any rate, there's that. And then up here you have all these different things. You have your iron that you can smelt, you have your brass that you can smelt, lead, glass, stone, and clay finally. So this is kind of the things you can somewhat put into the forge. Mine, I don't seem to be able to melt down things like candy tin cans, hubcaps, but lots of these other ones you can just melt down and get stuff right out of them. Let's just put a few of these in here and just see which ones melt and which ones don't, because I think my game is a bit bugged as I'm making this, which is not cool, but hey, it happens. Okay, so let's burn the gas and an old chair, and yeah, that's fine for now. So from there you put stuff in. You can scrap it just by hitting S, and that will get you, say, iron. But see, this tin can here seems to be bugged out for me. I could have sworn that I've done this like 100 times, melted a tin can down. But I could just be wrong. I could just always scrap them. See, it doesn't seem to be doing anything there. The springs are going away, so we end up just scrapping this. What are we at? 596? 599. But now you can scrap and melt that down, right? So I kind of feel like there's a bug there. These guys you can also scrap, and then if you want, you can, I think you can melt these guys down. If not, scrap it, melt it. Whatever doesn't just melt down in here, try to scrap it, and then deal with the whatever is left there. Yeah, so those scrap as well. You can do a cooking pot if you have spares. You could, I don't actually know if I've ever tried a full land claim block. We'll leave that in there. We're just gonna let a bunch of stuff smelt down. We are also gonna try to get this anvil happening. So we are probably gonna have to take this out. This is probably, when you scrap it, it's 150. So I think it'll go down. So here's our clay. We're going to take that and put it in the upper slot. And now that will start bringing the clay up. And yeah, if you need other things like, you know, trussing blocks, you just need to make sure that you have like your tool. This is the tool that's required, anvil, and we're gonna make one. And that'll be pretty quick. If you need iron darts, that's fine. Then you can kind of get into other weird things like bulletproof glass. Bulletproof glass takes, you have to pretty much melt a little bit of everything into it. Lots of lead. I found this out while building a castle. It requires a ton of lead to build anything really substantial for that. So, but it's awesome. It's nice. It's a nice material. Bullet casings and bullet tips will come in very handy. This is where you make your mini bike chassis. Well, won't get into that this particular time. Cement's very important. You just need a lot of stone. Just keep throwing your stone in there if you don't need it. Eventually you'll use it for cement. There's another thing that we'll go over, we'll do it right now, is that, so here's your brass. If you want brass, you can get it by just putting brass into these slots, and then it melts and it's in here. It says brass. But then what if you want to move your forge? Well, if you move your forge with stuff in it, you lose that stuff. So you got to take all the stuff out first. So that's not really great. So for example, if we want to get some of the iron out that's in there, we could just go boom and click and get all that iron back. we'll just do one just as an example. You just get your iron straight back out. I'm thinking it doesn't take any of the normal clay to get stuff out of here, but you can also get clay just directly back out too, so that is pretty good. Yeah, we're gonna have enough of that. When this thing finally melts down, we'll be able to produce an anvil. So I also wanted to point out that you could make leather from the animal hide. I think I am neglected to actually say it, but if you just go recipes, leather, and you can just craft it, and there you go. That's as easy as that is, just in case you didn't know, because you're super fresh to 7 Days to Die. So next is, I think, going over some of these tools and such. I do actually have all of them in here, but we are going to craft them, say, over there and over here, but we're also going to need to appropriate some skill points to do that. So this isn't something you can necessarily do on day one, partially because you need a ton of materials to do, say, the Crucible. Well, let's just get into it. The anvil, we're working on the anvil right now. It's melting 200 iron and get that, and we'll be able to do that. In fact, it may be done. It's done. So craft, boom, and it takes 1:50-ish, depending on your skills, to craft. Tool and die set. Now this one is interesting. You have to find this in the world, or maybe at a trader. I would say if you see anything that's a working stiff tool box, then you need to be searching that up, and eventually you'll find one. It could take you a long time. You might be getting it quick. It's random. It's really hard to say. And then there's the Crucible. Now the Crucible is something that you're going to want kind of, you know, I don't know. It's been a while since I've gotten to that point, but it's not right away in the game. Probably a couple weeks in, we'll get steel, to be honest. And you're going to need some skills to get steel. So, but this thing is not cheap. It is something that requires these things to make. The Crucible, yeah, it needs 40 iron, 10 mechanical parts, 1,200 stone, 900 lumps of clay. So early game, it's going to be hard to actually like harvest that much material from rocks and such. I mean, you could do it early game if you want. Just it's going to take some time. So it has this little grayed out thing. So this here, if you press the N button, it brings up your skills. You can also access it other ways, but N is the quick shortcut. And you want to find steel smithing. There it is, third page. And you require these things to actually be able to do it. So it is going to take you a little bit of time, a couple of levels, more than a couple of levels. So let me just get my character the required points, and I'll be right back. Okay, so if I've figured out this correctly, you're going to need to be level about 12 to get this, so that you'll have 72 points. And so with that, we can get our weaponsmithing for 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah. But you see, there's another little button hook here, isn't there? In that, I need to be player level 20. So I'm going to have to be even higher when I get toolsmithing. 20. We also need the science 3. So science 3 is not too bad. Boom. Science 3. So, allow me to just finish getting these, and then I'll be right back. Probably to player level 50, so you're gonna have a lot of points extra to spend as you get to this level, and I'm not even gonna go into that for this video, so we'll get to that another time. Okay, so by that, okay, and there we go. We have level 6 of the toolsmithing, and now we can go and make the Crucible in the workbench. After we buy steelsmithing for 15 more points, so like at this point it's not a big deal. I'm actually level 60 right now, so, you know, lots of points. But we have a whole bunch of new recipes that we'll work on. And basically, yeah, in that meantime, you're just going to need to get like 40 forged iron and 10 mechanical parts. You can get mechanical parts from cars or, say, the wheeled carts at the different stores. If you find any there should be some, so that's a good place to get them. Other than that, just other little things have them around the world. But let's bring these onto our characters so that we can actually craft one of these things. It takes 20 minutes. Well, not quite 20 minutes. A little more than 17 minutes. So let's let that thing craft. I mean, it's going to be a while before that one goes. I had to stop a wandering horde here. Just for demonstration's sake, we're going to take these guys out and we're going to use those instead for our tools. So yeah, we have our anvil. Click our tool and die set. That goes in there. Let's say we just found it. And let's say after 20 minutes, we'd have our crucible. So there we go. But this unlocks a lot of the different things. So for example, if you were to go to forged a steel, we have no fuel in here, so nothing is showing up. We could actually craft it because we have Crucible, and if we get rid of it, Crucible required, it shows an X. There we go. So now that we know we can do it, we could actually make some steel. It's fairly expensive to do, 20 to 1, so, you know, late game stuff, but it's great. Plus, steel tools are amazing at harvesting stuff before you get mechanical tools. So let's just craft a few things. Let's craft one of those. A steel arrowhead is useful. Some bricks. And other than that, I mean, you would have to... I guess the other major important ones are... I don't know if you can put an actual battery into there. These ones here, we'll just craft some of that stuff in there. Power battery, can you put that in there? Be curious to see if that actually melts down. We'll burn all this stuff eventually here. Just stick all that in here one at a time. Get that chair burning, that chair burning. This is actually brass, so we're going to put that in here so we can do some bullets, because I think that's an important one to show people. So we can put some hunting rifle parts in there. I'm betting that will melt down. The brass we got out of that radiator is all in here now. And if, for example, we want to do bullet casings, we can now craft a bunch. They do take the clay, so you will need that pretty much for everything other than like concrete, which we don't really have in here, but most people like bullets, so that's why we're doing a couple. That did not go anywhere, so you can scrap it, and then that will get you the lead as well. We can put a little bit of lead in here now. Fishing weights do directly go. Yep, they do. There seems to be a bug with the last one item. I'm not really sure when that started to occur from my game, but we'll just deal with it. But as you see, the bullet tip is now active, and you can craft those too. To do more crafting for that, it's over on the workbench, which I'm going to do a different tutorial for, because it's a different beast altogether, all in all. And so basically, I think you do need fuel in here to get anything out. If we wanted to take out the iron, we would do that. Stone, you can actually, let's see if we can do any cement. We can't do any cement right now, but we could make 3 had we the skill. So that's another whole tutorial. Okay, so just to kind of show now that everything is out, except for a little bit of clay, because I want to show you that like what happens when it's actually moved. We want to take out the tools. Let's leave one of them in here just to see. Yeah, once again, you press E, you go take, and then you wait your 15 seconds, and then we'll be able to move it. Okay, and now we have it. Yeah. So yeah, it does not give you back your materials inside of it, other than tools, apparently. So that is good to know, but yeah, and we'll just put that thing back down there. This is actually just some fuel that I was trying out just to double check that everything was working as I thought, and it doesn't seem like I've led you astray on that particular aspect of it. One thing I wanted to show you guys, and I've gone to an extreme measure to do it, I put a lot of forges downstairs, and is that there are screamers in the game that respond to heat, and we should be getting one any second now. Okay guys, so the heat recently just went over 100 and just started to reset. I just wanted to show you this, that yeah, you get screamers if you aren't careful, and if they see you they will summon a horde, so this is why you want to put your little forges somewhere away. Okay, so we have covered a lot of material today. I know it was a long one, but if you want to learn all about the forge, that's sort of pretty much everything that I can currently think of to show you about it. Yeah, so we covered how to get materials from the world for it, how to build it, then what sort of things went into it, what sort of things came out of it, and the tools that allowed you to build more things, plus some of the skills you'll need to get some of the more advanced parts from it. Because yeah, you can just build this thing straight up, day one, no other skills. Everyone just knows how to build a forge. Okay guys, that's it for now. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, it really helps us out on the channel. And if you are new and you do want to see more, you can hit the subscribe button, hit that bell if you want to stay notified. And if you really want to support the channel more, you can hit up the Patreon. The link is in the description below. And beyond that, I will see you in some other video. Bye bye.